Most Airbnb hosts think that guests care most about luxury decor and the fancy extras, but they're wrong.
Capital W.
After hosting over 100,000 guests, I've learned that what makes a stay truly special is often not what the hosts focus on.
Oops.
And when you miss these things, it leads to frustrated guests, bad reviews, and all your cash monies going to your competitors. So in this video, I'm going to reveal the 21 things that guests actually care about, and some of them may surprise you. The biggest mistakes that hosts make that damage the guest experience, and how small, and I mean small, inexpensive changes can lead to happier guests and better reviews. I've seen firsthand what guests love, what makes a difference to their stay, and what they complain about. So this isn't just theory, this is based on real experience from my real reviews, both good and the bad ones also. And if you want to get access to my Airbnb Success Blueprint, which is full of templates, guides, and cheat sheets, as well as my book, you can click the link below. But let's get into it. And the first thing that guests notice before they've even settled in is how clean your place is. Guests care more about cleanliness than any fancy decor or added extra that you're offering to them. It doesn't matter if they're renting a mansion from you or a tiny little attic room. There is no excuse for poor cleanliness. And sometimes people think that if they're offering a budget option that they can scrimp on that, and that's simply not the case. There's so many reviews that you will see from budget places where they'll say no bells and whistles, but everything was spotless. That is the minimum requirement. And yeah, if you are offering a big place, then your cleaning bill is going to be very high because it does need hoovered, mopped, dusted in every nook and cranny that you can get. One thing I always used to say whenever I was checking my cleaner's work is if I can pick up on this and within 5 minutes of entering the place, a guest is going to see it if they're there for 5 days. Lesson 2, you absolutely have to have a comfortable bed. A beautiful property with an amazing experience means absolutely nothing if at the end of the night when the guest goes to sleep they actually don't get any sleep because the bed's so uncomfortable. When you're starting your Airbnb journey, invest in a quality mattress, something that's comfortable. Don't go for something too hard or too soft, go for something in the middle. How do you know when it needs replaced? Your guests are going to start telling you. In terms of pillows, it can be easy to be seduced into thinking I'll get the finest duck, goose, feather pillows, but often you get requests from guests to say they're allergic to these things and could you get different ones. So just invest in high quality synthetic ones, keep everyone happy. Lesson number 3, and this next thing I think needs to be added to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those most basic needs of food, safety, shelter, and Wi-Fi.
I need internet.
Many hosts underestimate this, but it's not just about the speed of the Wi-Fi, which is very critical because you're going to have potentially 6 or 7 adults all with their phones, all wanting to do stuff at the end of the night, Facebook, Netflix, whatever. But it's also crucial that you get Wi-Fi that is reliable, that's not going to drop off. There is nothing more frustrating for a guest than checking into a property and the Wi-Fi either doesn't work or it's not reliable, especially if you're trying to target those corporates or remote workers who are going to use your place and need to work. A lot of places face this problem whenever they're just opening up because the Wi-Fi can actually be the last thing that you sort of remember if you're buying a place. You're so focused on everything else, the beds, the kitchen equipment, everything else, getting it ready, and then you're really close to getting live and you realize, oh, I didn't get the Wi-Fi. And often you might think, well, I can't put people in there until the Wi-Fi's sorted, and that might take 2-3 weeks. Or the other way is you just put people in anyway and say there is no Wi-Fi. It's a terrible mistake because those first couple of reviews, which are so crucial, are going to be 1 star because there's no Wi-Fi. But you can get portable Wi-Fi devices which you can load up with data and leave it in there as a temporary measure for your guests. But you will be surprised at how fast they can get through gigabytes and gigabytes of data. But you got to do it. Probably the biggest problem that's going to lead you negative reviews. Lesson number 4, do not do this to your guests.
Okay, the key to the place is in a lockbox that's virtually impossible to reach. Are you ready for the instructions?
Okay.
When you approach the building, there'll be a hedge to your right.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to climb over the hedge and then scale the wall.
Scale the wall?
Guests do not want to wait around for you to drop off the key, and they also do not want to go on a quest looking for your key through Narnia and Mordor and all this other stuff. Have it simple, straightforward. Best practice is to have a smart lock or a keyless entry so guests can just arrive at the door, either punch in a code or whatever, and just get in. If you have to have a key safe, and if it is going to be somewhere not right at the door, do a video where it clearly shows where the door is, where the guests will be standing as they watch the video. Show them where the key safe is. Lesson number 5.
This is my whole number 5.
Catfishing your guests by over-egging your property in your listing is not okay. Overselling it before they book is only going to lead to disappointment once they have booked and they arrive. I honestly don't know why people do this. I've heard people do this on dating sites as well. Guys say they're like 6'2",
6'5", blue eyes.
but they're actually like 5'6". If your place is smaller or has any quirks like a third nipple or missing a finger, be honest about it. Be upfront about it. Guests appreciate honesty. As I say, like, what is the end goal here? You're trying to trick them into booking, but when they come and arrive, they're gonna see that the place is small anyway, so just be open and upfront. Lesson number 6, and leading on from this, don't try and trick people with your photos. Nothing kills trust faster than arriving at a place that looks nothing like the photos on the listing. And this can be the case of deliberate deception, like using a fisheye lens to make a tiny, teeny little room appear 6'2", bigger. But it can also mean the photos were taken 10 years ago when everything was brand new and nothing has been replaced and now everything looks like. If that is the case, either get new photos taken or just improve the property so that it actually looks like the photos. Keep it accurate. Guests just want to know, this is what I booked. When they arrive, they want to just see, this is what I booked. Lesson number 7. Everyone likes to feel welcome. Everyone likes that little personalized touch. And guests are no different. When they arrive, it would be lovely for them to have a little personal handwritten note with their name on it saying, welcome to the property. I hope you have a great stay. We're here if you need us. A little welcome snack, a little bottle of wine. That's about it. Back the fuck off after that. Do not be overbearing. We're going to come to that later. Lesson number 8. When we're traveling to a new place, we all love to get tips and recommendations from locals of the best places to go. If you're anything like me, even at home, when we're trying to decide where to go out, we're going through a million different places. It would be so much easier if we didn't actually know any of them. We didn't have to look at Google. Someone just said, honestly, if you want to go out for food, go to this place. Just make sure it is actually very good. And you get bonus points if you can strike a deal with those places to either give your guests a discount or to give you a little slice of the action commission-wise for sending your hundreds or your thousands of guests to them.
Some companies still know how business is done.
But that's for another video. Really, you gotta be thinking about the guests. If you have kids, go here. If you love coffee, go here. If you want a steak, go here. If you're a vegan, get in the sea. Lesson number 9. When guests are arriving in your place, they need to be able to use everything that's in the place from day one, from the minute they walk in. That means you gotta leave them toilet roll. That means you gotta leave them shampoo. That means you gotta leave them tea bags. That means you gotta leave them dishwasher tablets, washing machine powder, anything that they need that's needed for your place. If I'm arriving in your place and my kids shit itself, if I need to wash some clothes in a hurry whenever I arrive, I don't want to have to go out to the shop and spend 10 or 15 quid on washing powder. Please just leave enough that the guests can use whatever they have in your place. And you get extra points for over delivering. Yes, we know that all the guests are going to steal all your toilet roll that you leave out. Yes, we know if you leave extra towels, they're going to use every single one of them, but you do get bonus points for that. And it works the other way. If you don't leave enough toilet roll and they ask you for some and you say, that's all we give you, that's going to come back at you in a review. Lesson number 10. After the Wi-Fi, this is probably one of the ones that's going to get mentioned the most in reviews, and I'm talking the bad reviews. Guests need to be able to control the temperature in your property. A place that's too hot or too cold is just miserable. They want easy to use temperature controls that if they're too cold, they can turn it up, and if they're too hot, they can turn it down. Yes, you are going to get lots of guests who, in hot countries, if I'm there, I'm turning it right down, and yeah, I might go out for the day because I want it to be nice and cool when I come back. And you're also going to get other guests who come from hot countries, come to Belfast, think, my God, it's freezing here, turn the temperature up, full whack, out to go. When they come back, they think, oh, it's a sauna in here, we'll just open the windows instead of turning the heating off. It can be frustrating. It is going to run into your energy bills. There are things you can do to sort of reset it back down once it hits a certain temperature, but guests need to be able to control that themselves. Lesson number 11. You can never have enough plug sockets or charging stations with USB capabilities. The amount of tech and stuff that people bring with them on holidays these days is insane. Laptops, tablets, phones, all sorts of stuff. Bonus points for having them beside the bed because we all like to charge our phone, but even more bonus points, super duper bonus points for having the USB things. Look, if I go to Europe or America, I might remember to bring an adapter, but even then it's like one adapter and I've got about 5 different extension leads all coming out of there that everything's plugged into. But if a property has the USB things, no problem, no problemo. Lesson number 12. Guests care more about comfort than picture perfect decor. I don't care how expensive your sofa is, if it's uncomfortable to sit on, it's getting marked down. I don't care what the feng shui of your place is. If you're sleeping 6 people, you've got to have comfy seats for 6 people. That also goes for dining table or places for people to eat. And while we're on this, think about your lighting as well. I don't know if it's just a Northern Ireland thing about putting the big light on, but have some lamps about the place, create a vibe. You know, we're not coming in here wanting like 1,000 watts of sunlight on us at like 10 o'clock at night. In a nutshell, think about the guest experience when they're staying there, just on a normal evening or afternoon. Lesson number 13. Do not be one of those hosts that when guests arrive, or even before they arrive, they get the scroll of house rules. No shoes in the house. Do not open this door. Do not use this plate. Do not make a sound after 11 p.m. Do not turn the TV up above this level. Do not flush the toilet more than 5 times a day. You get the idea. Overly strict rules just for straight guests. We all expect reasonable rules. It's things like no parties, no drugs, no smoking inside, maybe no pets, no kids. But don't be a dick. People will mention these in reviews. Even taking the rubbish out. Like, we ask our guests to do that. And in a house that might be fine, the bin's right outside. But in an apartment building, if the big chute with the rubbish goes down is broken or blocked, they've got to go the whole way down to the car park. And we do get negative reviews, people saying that. Lesson 14. It is mucho frustrating that when you wake up in the morning, first day in your short-term rental, you go to get in the shower, you turn it on, and a little trickle of water comes out of the shower. Or good pressure, but it's like scalding hot lava. You turn the temperature dial 1 degree, and it's now like icy water from Alaska. I don't know where these showers come from. I've had them, stayed in plenty of hotels where they are there as well. I don't know what the story is with them, but get it fixed. It needs to be a good shower, good pressure, hot water, but not health and safety scalding hot water, and it needs to be able to last. You need to be able to, if you sleep in 6 people, you need 6 people to be able to have a good long shower. Lesson 15. It doesn't matter how good the coffee is that comes out of your coffee machine if you have to take a 2-day seminar to even work out how to use the damn thing. Fancy smart home setups are only cool if guests know how to use them intuitively. If turning on your TV takes any more effort than pushing the on button on one remote, it's too complicated. Even a microwave, get the dumbest, stupidest microwave you can get. It just turns on. Guests don't want to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out how to turn on the lights. Lesson 16. Guests don't expect a chef's kitchen when they arrive, but they do expect a kitchen to be well stocked enough for them to be able to cook some decent dinners. I've seen reviews on other people's listings. I think actually it was a video I did about the best and worst Airbnbs in London, maybe? And there were multiple reviews of a place that slept 6 people, but the host only left them like 2 forks, 1 plate. Like ridiculous stuff. If you sleep 6 people, you need at least 6 bowls, 6 knives, 6 forks, 6 cups. At least. Probably you should have 2 of each. And that's just as a minimum. But you are going to need other stuff. Pots, pans, sharp knives, chopping boards to cut them on. Just enough for guests to be able to cook a meal. And a good way to try this, if you're bringing a new property to market, is to just stay in it yourself for like a day. So you're forced to cook. And then you'll know, do you have enough stuff to cook meals in? Yes, it's always amazing whenever you walk in and you realise guests haven't cooked in the place. But you do need to be able to give them the opportunity to if they want to. Lesson 17. Make sure your place is quiet. Guests can have a peaceful night's sleep. Noise complaints are common in reviews. If you have a trains past your house, or you're underneath an airport flight path, things like that are going to get noticed. Especially if you're in a city and you're having people coming from rural areas where they're not used to any sort of noise. So you could think about soundproofing, triple glazing windows, or just be honest with guests. Let them know, give them clear expectations about what sort of noise there can be. So for example, if you're in the city centre and you're near bars, I would say don't be near a bar, just in terms of the actual noise is going to be there every night. But like if you're having drunk people walk past at night, it's not your fault, but people are going to respond in reviews to say that. Lesson 18. Be super responsive when guests message you, and then that's it. Guests don't need a new best friend, a new pen pal, but they do need quick responses whenever they're asking you about whatever it could be. Like, how do you work your fancy coffee machine? The quicker you respond to them, the quicker they can get on with their stay, on with their day, so can you, and it's going to get mentioned in reviews. And I actually think it actually helps you with your search result rankings or your property score with your responsiveness time. So just do it. Be on your phone all the time, be ready. You can also use things like AI, chatbots to respond to people. You can feed in all your manuals and whatever else so that it can actually respond to the guests on your behalf. Whatever you're doing, just make sure you do it quick. Lesson 19. Leave your fucking guests alone. I touched on it already. They don't need a new best friend. They're here to enjoy their stay with their family, doing the things they want. I think it's right to send them one message that's after they've checked in to say, how is everything? Do you need any help? They might not respond at all. They might respond with something and you fix it. But once that's done, leave them alone. Most guests prefer minimal interaction with the host. They want to feel welcomed, not watched. Lesson 20. When they're checking out, make it as simple as possible. Don't give them a big list of chores that they need to do, especially if you've already charged them a cleaning fee. If you charge me $100 cleaning fee and then you ask me to do any of the cleaning, you're getting told to do one. Imagine that happened in a hotel. You spent big money on a hotel, and as you're leaving, the hotel says, by the way, can you strip the beds and can you also like give a quick wipe round of everything? I'd be like, get the fuck. Like, there's some things we ask our guests to do. The main one is to put the dishes in the dishwasher and turn it on. Only because the dishwasher cycle can take like an hour and a half. And if we have a super tight turnaround and our cleaners have to put that on, they could be out of there in an hour. They're sitting waiting around for the dishwasher to finish Putting dishes in a dishwasher and pushing a button to turn it on, one button remember, should not be seen as a chore. Stripping beds, I actually would say is a chore. And like, why even ask that? Like, it takes about 30 seconds to strip a bed. How much time is that actually saving your cleaner? And also, if you are asking guests to strip your beds, you better be damn sure that your mattress is clean. Lesson 21. At the end of the day, guests don't just want the place to sleep. They want to feel that when they've booked somewhere and stayed, that when they're leaving, it felt worth it. And again, that's the same of whether they booked a mansion or a tiny little room in a guest house. They want to feel like they got good value for the price they paid. And everything that we've just talked about is going to pour in all of that stuff to give you those 5-star reviews. Now, these are super simple methods to ensure that when guests stay, they have a good time and they leave good reviews. But what if you're actually struggling to get bookings in the first place? If you're not happy with your current occupancy levels, then you need to watch this video next, where I show you how to get more bookings in your Airbnb, get booked first ahead of your competitors. I'll see you in the next one.